My takeaway of just an outsider's perspective, both of you were in huge bands, obviously, but it feels like with Wings, it was almost like a return to the fun of just jamming out.
It was. It started out like that completely, and but of course, there was a lot of song structures and studio time and experimentation within that jamming out. So it's the same with Band on the Run. That was kind of going to be a band album, and then it turned out to be just us, and so that was kind of jammed through. You see what I mean? The arrangements changed. We just got in there and went through the songs and put them down as basic tracks, and that was a kind of a jam approach, yeah. But you already had a structure. Yeah.
I didn't realize until recently that it was just you and Paul and Linda that had initially did that because the demos they were stolen from you.
Yeah, well, they were from Paul as they were walking home one night in Africa, but we'd done them. We didn't have the band there. See, the band, we'd rehearsed with the band, and then the other two guys didn't turn up.
Yeah.
So we were left with those tapes, but they got stolen. But we couldn't have done them like the tapes anyway, because there was a band rehearsal tapes.
Yeah.
But it was to give you an idea more of the arrangements, really. So we kind of, whatever we remembered, we continued and just got the job done. And then sometimes it works better that way. I don't know. Just adapt,
Because you're on the fly too,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's what we did. And look at the reaction. People seem to like that one.
What was your biggest takeaway from that time? It seemed in those 10 years, it seemed like such a part family, part carnival, part rock and roll circus, but also this huge family component. It seemed like.
Well, there was, but that's going to happen all the time when you're all together on the road, and you. But really, it was more work. It was more work, really. I didn't mix with them so much, other than work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Apart from writing.
Yeah.
So it was all more work. It wasn't really, you know what I mean? It's like when you're on the road, you have one ambition, and that's to make the gigs good.
Yeah.
You don't party, and you don't do too much family time. You don't do all of that. It's just like anything else. The gig is the main thing.
Yeah.
And so you actually do focus more on that. People think that's all you do is go out and have a good time, but
well, there's a lot of loneliness in there too.
Well, yeah, but to a certain degree, but I don't know whether loneliness comes in too much, because you're always kind of, working on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you're on your own and there's nobody around, you're going to sit down and play the guitar, or you're going to sit down and do something relating to work.
Yeah.
That's or get on the phone and start trying to look for gigs. Whatever it is, everything relates to work. And the family side of it, well, in Paul's case, of course, he had his family with him.
Yeah.
But it's always like that. You always have to be part of the thing, of the actual getting it done.
Well, it's keeping the train moving down the tracks.
Yeah. I mean, everybody thinks it's all drugs and rock and roll.
Yeah.
But it's not. It really isn't. I mean, that's just something that's got trendy and gone out of proportion. It really was never as bad as that, as some individuals did it. It never was. It was more about the work. I mean, you wouldn't have gotten the band in the first place or got anywhere if you didn't work hard and be competitive and be on the ball. So that's all there is to it. You still have to be like that, otherwise you just lose it. But we always had that work ethic, you see.
And you still have it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. How important is the storyteller component of your performance? That back and forth with the audience. How important is that in terms of everything?
Well, it's as important as the music, in the sense that you're describing the song or the people that you were hanging out with at the time. Like I might, I'll bring up Ginger Baker or John Bonham, for example, or people, that I've known and written songs about, and just that's the way you do it. But you don't. The thing is, I've got to be careful I don't go into too much chat, because it's all about, again, doing as many songs as possible.
Yeah.
Because there's so many stories. But I like to even it out, because people do like those stories. I mean, they haven't heard them, before. So some of them. So it's just a matter of, like, I don't know, seeing how the audience goes, and you kind of pick your way through it. It's like you get used to it by being on stage all those years of when and when not to, and when to do the song, and how much chat in between. But you do have to be careful; you don't get carried away.
Yeah.
So with the chat, but I used to do it in between sets with another band I worked with for a while, and it always went down well, and. So I thought, well, my band's pretty busy at the moment doing other things. So I thought, well, I'll do some solo work if I can. And so I got an agent on the case, and now I'm doing it. So, and it's going well. I'm enjoying it really much more than I thought I would, actually.
Yeah. What do you think of, rock and roll is always something that's going to be created. There's always going to be, kids rocking out in a parent's garage somewhere or a basement, but like, it's mainly, due to digital technology, it's disappeared from the charts in a lot of ways, but there's still a lot of big rock bands. I feel almost that it's circled back to where it began, which was the underground lately.
It did. Yeah, it has. Definitely. Well, I mean, all right, so you had the 80s and the 90s and all that, but we were all part of that, using the tools, whatever was there. I mean, we were partly responsible for all that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
We kind of, invented it along with all the people who made all the equipment and stuff, so to our requirements. But, but it's just a tool, and as you say, it's more now about playing live again, because then people weren't playing live. I mean, the people who'd never played live before, ever, were making albums and getting hits, and then they'd go out and then there'd be crap on the road, so I mean, there was all that. So I think it has come to the point now where bands are working a lot more and getting better, because you've got to have that equality there, that balance.
Well, would you say that rock and roll as it stands today, its role in the digital age would be to bring you back to that realness of what actual person playing an actual instrument is?
Oh yeah, well yeah, performance of that, the practice that goes into playing an instrument and getting your chops together and all the rest of it. The performance comes from rehearsal, comes from practicing, and that's hard work, and it's dedication, and it's a lot of hours. It's like any job. In fact, more than some jobs, because it's a 24/7. Whatever you feel like it, when you feel like it, you've got to do it. But yeah, that's an easy question for me, because it's just what I do. I mean, I don't have to think about it too much, but I know that if people are going to go out there and play live, that's what they've got to do. They've got to, because they're going to make themselves look like idiots otherwise. So they do, and they practice hard, and there is a lot. There's always going to be talent, but I think there's a lot more clubs and theatres, or there's old theatres are starting to come out that would work again and reopen, and it's looking good for live work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what the business, as you say, started like, and it should always be that,
Well, there's that idea what we were talking about before of not losing sight of the childlike wonder.
That's right. You've got to have that.
Yeah.
And we're all kids at heart, and it's just to say you don't feel any different. It's just harder to get up in the morning sometimes, but you don't feel any different.
Yeah.
You actually do have that same enthusiasm, because you just, there's always something that's going to drive you forward. Even if it's somebody who comes and blows you away playing an instrument, you go, oh shit, I better do some rehearsing.
And that's everything. That's all. That is why we love rock and roll.
That's why we love everything to do with it. It encompasses everything, as you said.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, my final question is, you've had a life creating and performing music and going around the world and meeting all kinds of people. What does that taught you about what it means to be a human being?
Well, first of all, meeting people all around the world is one thing you're not, and that is racist.
Yeah.
And and that's what I don't like in other people. I mean, there's good and bad of everybody. That's all there is to it. And I'm just as critical as the bad as I am as like acclaimed, as far as like good goes. But I like good things, but I'm real when something goes bad. I'm the worst. I could be your worst enemy or your best friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I do have a lot of knowledge, if you like, of different, different countries, the way they have their, it's just really just the way they run their lives, and it's very similar to the way we do. They just have different, it's more or less the same customs, I would think. But there are those kind of elements that are way behind the times and dangerous, and then there's those elements who are trying to run before they can walk, and there's all that stuff that you're up against all the time when you're out there, because you can't kind of be one of them. You're just like a visitor, like a stranger in a foreign land,
Yeah.
But that's the way you get to know people, and you know what the thing is about musicians, they always get accepted by anybody, really, they welcome you in, they know what you do, they know who you are in a way, and they just welcome you, so that you see the best side of people that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with music too, I mean, you're also sonically expressing human emotion at its essence.
Yeah, that's all true. And they do appreciate that. They want to hear you. Well, I lived in Spain, they didn't want to hear me. I mean, I did learn a lot of flamenco stuff, but they don't want to hear me playing flamenco. They want to hear me playing what I play, and vice versa. So, it's a great communicator, and you sort of judge each other on that level, if you see what I mean. It's what you're prepared to give and chances you take and all that stuff. So I think a lot of the things I've learned is obviously through music. Everything to do with human nature is all through music, because of the way it's helped me communicate with people, break down the barriers.
Well, Denny, it's